everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies, featuring recipes from the world of H.P. Lovecraft. The appetizer last week was the what the hell were they? Yog-Sothoth parfaits, or some Yog-Sothoth pots is what they were. Those were breakfast parfaits that actually turned out to be really good, and I used those in the lead up to Gen Con. It was a little bit of a messy schedule last week, but now we're back to normal. And we're back to the side this week, Howard's potato salad. First up, let's tell the story. While living in New York, Lovecraft became exceeding fond of a 10-cent potato salad served at an automat in Times Square. Years later, in 1936, perhaps missing this favorite meal, he included instructions for making his own in a letter to his Aunt Annie. Both spuds and dressings were in fine condition, and I cut the former up to salad-sized fragments, mixing them well with the mayonnaise and adding a sprinkling of sodium chloride, aka salt. Finding the mayonnaise was a bit lacking in taste, I added a slight touch of ketchup, which made for an absolutely perfect and highly appetizing blend. If HP's version doesn't appeal, try the recipe below instead, but don't forget the sodium chloride. And there's a little extra note. Hands down, potato salad is always the most popular salad at a barbecue or potluck. This one includes crispy cooked bacon, so is packed with extra flavor. You could also swap in a large handful of crumbled blue cheese in place of the bacon, and garnish with roughly chopped walnuts for extra crunch. Well, we'll do a little bit of exploring with some of that, but the ingredients for this are waiting for us at the table, so let's move in that direction. You'll probably hear the oven chirping in the background. As usual, we won't need that for this recipe, as I will note when we do need it. So actually for the future, if you hear the oven chirping, you can safely assume that we won't need it for the recipe. I'll specify if we do. For this recipe, though, we need 2 pounds of potatoes, 4 ounces of bacon, a teaspoon of veggie oil, 6 scallions, aka green onions, 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, and salt and pepper. Let's move into the kitchen and we'll start putting this recipe together. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cutting board and knife and we're going to cut these potatoes down. The recipe says to halve the potatoes, but I'm going to cut them down a little bit finer than that. So we're going to cut them down into more salad-sized fragments, similar to what the notes in the recipe suggest. Or what the story, I should say, suggests. Then as I cut each potato down, I'm going to throw it straight into the pan. There will eventually be water added to that pan. But let's go ahead and get these potatoes ready to go. This won't take too long. There we are. And the last potato. Okay. All right, that's the last of the potatoes. So now we're going to pour water into this. Okay. I'm going to make sure I got enough water to cover it. We'll lightly salt the water. Give that a quick stir. And then we'll set that to cooking. We'll set that to cooking until the potatoes are tender. Once we get to that point, we'll rinse them under cold water and let them cool. So we'll come back once the potatoes are all done. While I was dealing with the potatoes, I went ahead and cut the bacon up already into strips. You can probably see it here just in shot. So now we're going to take our teaspoon of veggie oil. I'm going to pour this carefully. Into a skillet, which that'll go toward the dishes. I will put that in there for now. Then we're going to go ahead and heat the oil up. I'll set that over high heat. What we're ultimately going to do, though, is we're going to cook the bacon until it's golden. Then we're going to drain on some paper towels and let it cool. So we'll go ahead and drop the bacon in. Trying to keep it as separate as I can. There we are. Okay. Go ahead and wash up my hands. Okay, the bacon's starting to sizzle, which is a very good thing. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, while I'm cooking the bacon, is I'm going to go ahead, once I get them out of the bag, is I'm going to go ahead and deal with the scallions. I want to reserve some of these for garnish. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate two of them off, and I'll use two for garnish. We'll slice off the ends. And we'll go ahead and cut these up. These are what's going to go... These first four are the green onions that are going to go in the main step of the recipe. Okay. So we'll get these out of the way. We'll give a quick check on Yeah, the bacon's nowhere near ready, and it's not going to be for a while. We'll just let that sizzle for a bit, but I'll go ahead and cut up the other 2 green onions off shot here, and this will be what I put aside for garnish later. Okay. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch this bacon sizzle. Just know that the goal here is we're going to get this until it's golden. So we're going to come back to we'll come back to the counter when the bacon is done and dry, and having had a little bit of time to dry. Now we're going to put the salad itself together. So we're going to take the potatoes, the finely sliced scallions that aren't being reserved for garnish, which I've got those right here. And the bacon, and add them in. Okay. Now we're going to add in the mayonnaise, which we wanted 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. Come on. All right, hang on. We're gonna have to get some of this loose. Ah. I just managed to smash the lid on me because of course I did. I think we got enough there. So I'm going to grab my small spatula from in here. Then I'm going to scrape it in. Okay. We'll gently mix that in. Okay. Now we're going to garnish. We're going to garnish with the reserved scallions, which I've got right here. Season with salt and pepper. Which I'm just going to go ahead and kill this remaining salt. So yes, it's going to be... So the potato salad is going to be a little bit more salty than it would normally be. So bear that in mind when I'm weighing in. Bear that in mind when I'm making my comments during the taste test. We'll add some pepper as well. We'll mix that up just a little bit. And now I'm going to plate some of this potato salad, and I will meet you guys over at my desk for the taste test. I've got some of the potato salad right here. When I was younger, I will admit to not being a big fan of potato salad back in my younger days, but that's some of the charm of Mystical Munchies, where you get to explore some of these recipes that I wasn't initially a fan. I get to explore some of these recipes I might not have initially been a fan of, with a new twist sometimes, and maybe those recipes, maybe in those cases, I enjoy those recipes. So, let's give this a taste and see if the bacon was the twist I needed here. The bacon actually did make for a nice twist on this recipe, and it is pretty good. I did like this version of the recipe. But of course, there are a lot of jokes and memes out there that bacon makes everything better. In this case, it did kind of help. That's another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books, though. Still a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. Next week, we will be making the side, Sonia's Magical Spaghetti. As for what's in the immediate future on the channel, later today, we'll be at Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia for Block 28 of my 2009-10 hockey season replay, as we'll be playing Stratomatic Hockey, where the Carolina Hurricanes will be visiting the Atlanta Thrashers. Tomorrow morning, the 2025 Summer of Lovecraft will begin with the first leg of the campaign, Eldritch Horror, as we're taking on Yog-Sothoth. Wednesday, we are going to be playing the Legacy of Cthulhu from Mind's Vision. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.